Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. This session is geared towards beginners. If you can all open your family search account, I'm just going to go over it really briefly. If you need help, just please feel free to unmute yourself and tell me to pause. So really quickly, you can either go to churchofjesuschrist.org or you can go directly to Family Search. I'm going to show you how to find it, starting from the church website. But you can, once again, you can just go directly to this website and it'll do the same thing. If you go up here to the right top hand corner, and you can actually, even if you type in lds.org, which is actually kind of what I do still, maybe out of habit, it'll take you directly to churchofjesuschrist.org. So in this top right hand corner, if you just sign in, use your regular church user name and password, it should get you here. In this top right hand corner, again, if you go here to the third one, the first one is actually good. If you open temple, actually I'll just show you, it'll give you the temple information for the nearest location, and once it's open, it'll actually let you check the services and the time of like what days it's open, what time do they have initiatories, endowments, etc. If you go to the third option here, My Family Tree, it'll just take you directly to Family Search. Let's see. Oops. Let's try. Now it'll take you to, it'll log you in directly in, oh, actually it doesn't. You can log in here. So whether you go to lds.org or Family Search, it's the same. You can just sign in. Now really quickly, if you are not, or if you have friends who are interested in doing this, you can also create a free account, even if you're not a member of the church. So Family Search is the largest free online database service. They would just create an account just like anybody else, except they would not click that they're a member of the church. So they're able to access the databases for free. And yeah, you would just continue. Now, if you do not remember your username or password, you can just click here. If you've set it up with your phone or email, you can use that to recover it. Or I find in general, using your church record number is the easiest way to recover your account. Your record number is either located on your membership, so your temple recommend, and if you don't know what it is, then you can just simply ask someone in your bishopric or the ward clerk, and they'll be able to help you get access to that. So really quickly, I'm going to pause. Do I have any questions before we continue? If not, I'm going to continue. Okay, so once you go here, once you've signed in, it should bring up your family tree. On this, I might be going fast. Once again, I talk quickly, so just let me know if you want me to repeat anything. And once again, I am recording this so that I can upload it. On this left-hand side, you can actually change the way you view your family tree. There's the portrait mode, fan chart, and then you can pick it. You can change the different different categories there. You can make it look like this. Oh, hold on. There we go. You can take a look like this. There's several different options. Anyways, I'm going to go back to, I think I'm going to look at it this way. I think this is the default setting. Okay, so for all of you who are interested, I will provide, or I think I've already uploaded it on Facebook, and I think President Ruiz might have sent out a link to this to, I think, my Google Drive, which gives you access to different online resources. This is a checklist of things that I was hoping that we could cover. So really quickly, I went over the login and how to use your membership number to recover that if you're not sure what it is. And I'll go to number 2, how to add a new person. So going back to our tree, I'm just going to close these. if you go to any option, if you want to add a child, an individual person, etc., I'm going to add whoever you want to add. There are a couple ways to add people. Now, there is a difference between living individuals and those who are deceased. For those who are living, we try to protect the privacy of everyone. And so we don't want to share really sensitive information like birth dates, because that could be used in other settings to, verify your identity. So anyone who's living, we can create an ID for them. Let me actually go here. If you look here, every single individual has a 7-digit ID number here. Now, this ID number is going to be different if you are a living individual. So for example, if I open up my parents' family tree, the ID, because they are living, their ID number is not going to be the same. When we go here and search for individuals, you can try to search for individuals using the ID number. Actually, let's see, if you go here, find. I can try to find someone. If you click here to the right, you can look for someone or add someone using their ID number. But if you look for a living individual, using their ID number, they won't be visible because we want to protect the privacy. However, for those who have deceased, if everyone looked for my ID number, you wouldn't be able to find them. But if you looked for a grandparent and used this ID number, for example, you would be able to find them. So there is a difference between living and deceased individuals. Anyways, going back to adding a person, it's really simple. You can add their information. There are, I'm gonna go, let's see. Oh, backtrack. I apologize, hold on. First, I apologize, I rush. The first thing I would recommend and invite everyone to do is to pray. To pray and invite the Spirit to guide you, to know what to do, who to talk to, what to look for. Because really, inviting the Spirit into our lives is what's going to help us really be able to find the information that we need. I really have a testimony that participating in family history work is an amazing way to invite the Spirit into our lives. So again, as we're going through this, I pray that you'll be able to feel the Spirit, and when you engage in this, to pray for the Spirit for that guidance. So going back to this list, I think this one, okay. So we're looking to find names of individuals, take them to the temple, and we also want to be able to teach others and help others know how to do this, and pray. Please pray for the Spirit. So we went over the login, and again, if you're not a member, that's okay, you can also log in. So in order to prepare a name, there are 3 really crucial, important things that you need. A name for the individual, a date, and a geographical location. Now, in the past, pre-2013, you had to find a lot of specific information. The church has changed its policies, and it accepts more, I think, more types of information. So for example, there's those 3 things, and then you also have to specify their gender and whether they're living or deceased. For a name, any type of name will work. So you can add a nickname, you can use a maiden name, a married name. So for example, for my name, I could say Eurah Park, or I could write Miss Park, or daughter of Singhwad Park, or Mrs. Smith, or wife of John Smith. So even if you do not know what your grandparents or great-grandparents' names specifically are, you could use Mrs. or Miss, or use some type of relation to describe them. And then later on, when you find specific information, you can always go back and edit it. Even if the ordinances are in progress, it just gets updated online. For a date, you can use any type of date. So for example, I might not remember when my grandfather was born. You could use a birth date, a christening date, marriage date, or death date, but if I don't know when he was born, I know he passed away maybe 30 years ago, so I could use that approximate date. So any date will work. So again, it could be a specific or general. So about 2000 or about 1990, both of them would work for the same date. December 24th, 1995, or December 1995. Again, you could be a specific or general. Note, especially I find that with, I think a lot of Chinese records or certain records, they don't always have the specific date. So you can practice guessing dates. So also remember, if you don't know where they were born, you can still try to figure out use different markers like their marriage or death, etc. And you can guess, like maybe they were 15 when they had their child, or 20, or 30. You can add or subtract to whoever's date that you might know. So for example, if I was born in 2000 and maybe the parents would be born around 1970, or the grandparents could be born maybe around 1940, etc. Again, it's not perfect, but you could try to guess, you know what it is. Geographical location, political boundaries change. What was today, what used to be British North America or Fort York might be Toronto or Scarborough or North York. So you could be as specific or general with the location. So just to recap, 3 things that you need to prepare a name is a name, a date, and a geographic location. So if we go back to LDS, Family Search, you can include that information, your first name or last name. Now you do not need to include a title, but if you want to, you can. Please, please do not use symbols. Don't use a question mark. Don't, or I don't think it accepts it. But you could write daughter of Mary, for example, or whatnot, or of Eurah, etc. So I said a name, a date, and a geographical location. Now, when you enter information, you want to make sure that it's going to have a drop-down menu, and you always want to have an icon appear. I'll do that. You want to have an icon appear in order for the computer to accept it. For birthplace, there's a drop-down menu. You can pick one of these, or sometimes the actual location doesn't pop out. This will not be accepted. You need to have an icon. So I'm going to copy, paste. Oh. I'm going to try to get the icon. Again, boundaries change. If the area doesn't pop up, don't worry about it. Even if the icon doesn't pop up for this one, just type it in, and it should read it. So again, there's 1, 2. You need the name, a date, or geographical location, and then actually it's 5. Please specify if it's male or female, and deceased or living. This is really important. If the child is unknown, you cannot perform an ordinance for them because you don't know if someone who's male or someone's female should be going in their place, so they can't get their work done. Again, it's really important you specify. If you're deceased, if you enter the information, people can see it. If it's living, you see here, it explains you must create living family members to connect you to your deceased ancestors. To protect privacy rights, only you can see the living people you create in family tree. So my siblings, if you see here, I had to manually input my siblings in.
Eurah,
oh, yes?
Eurah, I have a question for you.
Sure.
regarding the living and deceased,
Mm-hmm.
let's suppose you have somebody that one of your families, but you don't know what happened to the person.
Oh yes, if you don't know, oh, I think the general. Okay, someone please correct me if you know the right answer. I think you have to. Oh, if this times out, if you could just log back into the same, you might lose me in 10 minutes. I'm sorry. And it'll just bring us back to the meeting. I think you can't. I think you need to wait because they might still be alive. That's a really great question, Brother Andre. I'm going to try to get back to you on that. But as far as I know,
I think I have an answer to that.
Okay, thanks, Dallas.
One time they might have changed since, but I was reading a handbook once, and it said that apparently the rules are different for like if a soldier goes missing in action, but otherwise, if a person goes missing, then you have to wait until that person would have been 110, and then you can assume that they're dead.
Yeah, I think that's correct because there have been cases where long lost siblings or people pop up. So yeah, thank you, Dallas. I think that sounds correct. I think you have to wait until they're older. So like if it was a child, then you would have to wait until 110. But maybe if it was like a grandparent, then after 110 years, you'd be okay.
Yeah. So when the person would have been 110, then yeah.
Yeah. Right. That individual, not you.
Yeah, exactly. So that would have been, if someone goes missing at 80, then that's 30 years. But if they go missing at 1, then that's 109. So, yeah.
Great. Thanks, Dallas. I appreciate it. Okay.
Can I ask
yes.
a question?
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned something about not being able to perform an ordinance if gender is unknown. What do you do in the case where you've accidentally given, like I've seen a bunch of names, not a bunch, but every now and then a name where it's like been misattributed the wrong gender or something like that. What do you do in those circumstances?
Did you change it? Have you tried?
No, that's why I'm just curious, because I've just seen them pop every now and then. It was just a passing curiosity. You'd
want to verify that because you have to be careful with names because like Lauren could be male or female. So we might assume that it should be a male or female. So unless it's verified, good question. Let me see if we can edit that. We can both see, take a look at that. If not, you might just delete the person and create a new person. But I'll have to get back to you, and maybe we can see if we can edit that. Sister Lynn, did you have a question?
Yes, I just want to ask because a while ago, I just want to add my aunt and uncle who were dead and to the system, but the system doesn't allow me to add, and it's my upper generation, my father's sibling, my uncle and also my aunt. The system saying that I have to get the permission from the same generation because my father's family have 11 siblings. Some of them pass away, some of them over all the other countries. Then how can I add? Otherwise, I have to wait to 100th year or whatever is it, because they are now in count is around 70 or 80 years old. My aunts and uncles. So how can I add them?
So you can add them to family search. That's not a problem. You just can't perform their ordinances.
Okay.
You can add them, but if they have children, then you need to get permission from their closest relative.
But it is hard for me to get their permission. That's why I stuck there.
So you can add them to your tree, but you might have to wait if they have children. So if it's not your direct uncle, so is it your
my father's
brothers,
younger sister and younger
brothers.
sister and younger brother?
I believe you need to get permission from their children.
Generation. They say that from the same generation.
It's not about the same generation. It's about the closest living relative. So if his wife or children, or I think like parents could give permission.
But they didn't have they didn't have the wife or husband. That's why.
Oh, so then if you are the closest living
not fair.
relative, then you can put, I believe you can just input your own information, but it's only if they have direct lineage, then you have to get permission from them. Again, Dallas or someone correct me.
You
Okay,
can put my.
Are you trying to answer? Oh, sorry, or Brother
Sister
Valley?
Margarita would like
Yeah,
to
yes.
say something. FYI, we have 4 minutes 54 seconds remaining.
If I get timed out, I'm so sorry. I will just pop back in. Sister Margarita?
Yes, I just wanted to add with the question the sister had regarding a relative. I had an uncle, great grand uncles that that have passed away, but I have requested permission. And what I have done is I have not. I basically don't know them. So what I have done in the previous times is I send emails to family relatives, and that's how when I actually enter in the computer, that's one of the things that really has helped me. Their emails or their phone numbers for the church to verify it, and that's how they grant me permission to do the ordinance for them.
Yes, but there has to be some sort of communication, unfortunately. So I
Correct.
would just,
Yes.
I would invite you,
You
Sister
have to verify.
Lung, to say a prayer and maybe pray to see how you might be able to approach them. And you know, I really do believe in miracles, that hearts can be softened, but I know it can be very difficult and stressful and scary. But there have been cases where people say no, and then there have been cases where people will ask again later, and you know, years down the road, they might be okay. But if not, we might just have to have faith and be patient and wait till we perform those ordinances. But Sister Lung, you can enter them. Have you entered their information into the tree?
No, I haven't do that. I just stuck there.
No. So we can add that. So let me go. We'll go over again. Adding people. You can add it. You just can't perform an ordinance.
That's why I want to perform the ordinance for my aunt and uncle. That's why I stuck there. But I didn't know about I can add to the family tree. Even though I add to the family tree, I cannot do any ordinances for them.
Yes. So that's why when I mentioned now since 2013, that's the beauty of Family Search Online, because previously you couldn't enter their information until you had permission, and the church kept all the records. But now that everything's on the computer, we can add information and keep a record of it, so that once 110 years passes away, or when you get permission, you can keep that information. So for example, I invite people to make sure that they update the information of their aunts, uncles, and cousins and siblings and their, your in-laws, because you might not be performing their ordinances right now, but you can save their birth date or birth location, all that information, because we also never know when someone will pass away. Or when my mom started doing family history in her 20s, most of our relatives were alive. And then when I was talking with her and I was going through some pictures, I was like, who are these people? Like, I don't see them. We started going through pictures, and I was like, why are they not in our family tree? And she's like, oh, because when I did this, they were alive in the 70s. But since then they passed away. But because we had a record of their information, we could perform their ordinances once they passed away. Does that make sense? And once we got permission, of course. Okay. Any other questions?
Sister Len can do it during the millennium. If we don't do it.
No, or your children, maybe, or your relatives, maybe Sister Lung will be able to perform them, or you'll live to 110 and you'll be able to perform it for them. Okay, I apologize. I think that the meeting might time out in a minute. So if it does, can everybody open the link again and just try to log back in?
With the same code?
With the same code, PARK, P-A-R-K. Okay, if that's okay. I'm just going to end the meeting. So I'm just going to try logging back in if that's okay. All right? Bye.
Bye.